Always great talking to my next guest, Jimmie Rivera, who's back in action against Cody Stamann in a featherweight matchup coming up here at UFC Fight Night on July 15th. Jimmie, how's it going? I bet a little bit hectic. You got this fight coming up.
Yeah, it's just everything's last minute, so we're just trying to get stuff together to fly tomorrow morning. I messed up on when we were supposed to fly out, so I thought it was Friday. It's actually tomorrow morning, so I'm just packing right now. Got my last minute things that I needed to do, and about to head to Vegas and then Abu Dhabi.
Well, I really appreciate it, man. When did this actually come pen to paper? Because, I mean, we're talking about a fight next week, and I think I heard about this like maybe a day or two ago.
Well, I got a call for a replacement from my manager Monday, and then at the same time, I heard Frankie's opponent Pedro dropped out, so I put my name in for that, and unfortunately, Frankie said no, so Cody Stamann was the other person. I said, all right, I'll take that fight. And they were like, okay, no problem. And I'm like, perfect, and just ended up working out like that.
And I imagine the catch weight is just, or not catch weight, but 45 is just because both of you, it's short notice, right? I'm assuming this is like a one-off?
I was going to fight Frankie at 35, so I think Cody wanted the 45. And, I mean, he's a 35er fighting 45, so that's fine with me. That means I just don't have to cut as much weight.
And I know you're in your interview with ESPN recently, you mentioned that you wanted to fight in August, but I guess the UFC knew that you wanted to get this fight because of, Edgar or Munoz being out. Well, so I guess they're just like put it together.
We were supposed to fight in August, but I think one of the reasons why we didn't get a contract was I feel like maybe the UFC had me and a couple other guys as a backups. So, I mean, I was like, all right, no problem. Like, I was already training for a fight. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do the fight. Even better. I'm like, let's do it. And then, there was a lot of perks for it, and just excitement to go to Fight Island, check it out. It's something that's going to be interesting.
Now, it was also revealed in that interview you actually had COVID-19, you and your wife. I know you're better now and ready to fight, but how excruciating was that? Because I know obviously no one wants to get COVID, and I know Lyman Good as well got it too.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as bad for – I had 3 bad days, but my wife got it a little later on. She was a little worse. So that was more I was more concerned about. I mean, I had 3 days where I felt crappy, and then after the 4th day, I was fine. No symptoms. And so it wasn't bad. But then when my wife got it, I got more concerned because, she had the dry cough. She had it longer, didn't feel well. It's just more concern when someone else has it. Like when I had it, it wasn't too bad. Just a backache, tiny bit of like a wet cough, though, not a dry cough, and a fever, and that was it. I had fatigue day, and the fatigue went away the following day.
Well, that's good to hear because I know for some people we hear, potential like long-term damage with lungs and stuff, but it sounds like you didn't get it too bad as far as some of the symptoms.
Yeah, so feel good, been training, so yeah, that's pretty much it.
I know your family and friends obviously know you fight for a living, but were there any concerns about you fighting just because you did have it, not that long ago? I think it was, 2 months ago?
No. Not at all.
Well, that's a good support system because I know some fighters, even like that don't have it, their family's like, why are you fighting? Like you shouldn't be fighting right now because this is going on. So that's good to see you have that going on.
Like, I think wearing masks outside is ridiculous. I can understand if you're in, you're in a line somewhere and there's a lot of people. So yeah, but if I'm more than 6 feet away from someone to wear a mask outside, I find it ridiculous. You know what I mean? A lot of the studies I've seen and things I hear, I could be wrong, but a lot of it has to be transmitted through, more of, sweat and contact than just breathing it. But I could be wrong too. I don't know. I just find if you're outside in your car or on a motorcycle wearing a mask and there's no one around or on your bicycle, I find it ridiculous.
See, I think the working out at the gym where you're wearing the mask, if you're 6 feet apart, I think you should you shouldn't have to wear the mask for that because that seems very counterproductive if you're trying to work out and your breathing's being, restricted with the mask. So I don't know, but I'm not a doctor, obviously.
No, yeah, but you're not getting oxygen and it's not good. You could pass out, something worse. So, like when we open up our school, we're gonna have 6 to 10 feet apart for each bags, and there's no contact. But, we're doing everything safe. But, like, you come in with a mask, you get on your bag, you take it off, you work out, you put it back on, and you head right out, So, but I just think it's so stupid. Like, I would literally today, someone was in their Corvette or convertible top car, and I looked down, they have a mask. And I'm driving with a mask on. I don't know.
So it's been a bit since we've seen you in the octagon. I don't think anyone has had a tougher run in the bantamweight division than you. I was just looking at your opponents, Petr Yan, Aljamain Sterling, John Dodson, Marlon Moraes. I mean, those are tough matchups. What have you learned over these last couple fights? Because I know, obviously, you were used to having a longer winning streak in the UFC.
I mean, in the Yan fight, I coasted at the end, and actually, you should never coast, always fight to the bell. And the Sterling fight, I just had a bad weight cut. I showed up, like, someone was talking to me today about it, actually, oh, you got this move. And I'm like, you know what? I was like telling my teammate, I'm like, I just, it's like, you're somewhere, but you're like, you're not processing stuff. You're not thinking. So you're like, I was 5 steps behind that fight. I literally fought like I wasn't even there. It was more just like me doing a routine than actually me thinking and putting a strategy together and doing stuff. Like I had certain positions on them. I did nothing. I was just like, oh, I'm here now. Like, so it was just lack of recovering from the weight cut and not getting enough sleep.
How do you feel like you match up against Cody Stamann here? Obviously known for his wrestling. He's sort of like a blue collar fighter. I think that's the best way to put it. How do you look at him?
Like it's almost like two styles like that are the same. So it should be interesting to see how he approaches me in the fight. So, but I think it's like almost the same matchup in a way.
How was training camp this time around? I know some stuff was shut down, but I mean, I talked to Shane Burgos not that long ago. I know, before his fight, it seemed like camp was pretty good. Same thing for you, I assume?
Yeah, I mean, I helped Shane get ready for his fight. I couldn't be there as much of just a lot of other things going on. But I mean, we opened up probably second week in May, and I started going really hard. I want to say, I don't know, maybe the beginning of June or something like that, like every day. But training camp was good. I mean, it's a short camp, last minute notice, but I mean, I think now you kind of have to stay in shape for that and be prepared in case you can get a last minute notice and fill up a car at a spot.
Who would you say was some of your main training partners? Like you mentioned helping Shane. Was there anyone else you really worked with over this last little bit?
Everybody that's around my weight in the gym, Trezano, I have a couple amateur guys who are really good. Justin, Danny, Rob. There's a lot of guys that are not pros yet that are amateur MMA fighters who are really good. So I've had a lot of work with that, some boxing too, the usual.
Do you have to cut any weight to get to 45?
A little bit.
I was going to say, because it seems like you're like a perfect bantamweight as far as that goes, like in terms of your stature and everything. So I would think that you don't have to cut much, which is good because you got a long flight, right? So I'm sure you gotta. It would suck to have to cut weight and do that as well because Cody does cut a lot of weight. He's not a big guy, but he has to cut a lot of weight.
Yeah, I don't know how much he cuts, but I mean, I got to cut a bit of weight, but I don't think it's a lot of weight. I don't know what's a lot and what's a little.
Well, I don't know, like 20 pounds or something. Let's say that. Like, you don't have to cut that much, do you?
Yeah, I don't have to cut that much, no. Not at all.
There you go. See, I know a thing or two. Who's going to be making the trip down there with you as far as your corner?
My uncle, my boxing coach Ray, and my teammate Lewis.
Oh, Galdino.
Yeah,
right?
Galdino.
Yes.
Yeah.
Almost butchered that. Saved myself at the last minute. How long is the travel time and everything? Like what are you looking at over the next 48 hours?
All I know is I go to Vegas and I get tested, and then from there I think I leave Friday to Abu Dhabi. But I can't tell you. I think we get tested and have to be locked in our rooms for quarantine. I just going on a whim. Like I asked my manager a couple questions, and that's it. Like as far as I need to know, I assume like my wife and I were just talking. I'm assuming if we're locked in, we're gonna have to get food, and someone's gonna have to bring us food and bring us water and stuff and what we need. So I feel like that's kind of like a given. So I think we have to make like a list of what we want, and they're going to have to bring it, obviously, if we have to stay in a room. And I think we do another quarantine when we get to Abu Dhabi, too. So I don't know. All I know is that, like, I got my Lewis to do stuff, my uncle to help me weight cut, Ray to be there for the fight, wrap me up, and take care of me. And all I got to do is just drink water right now, keep going with my meals, and that's it.
How do you see the fight playing out on July 15th?
I don't know. I think right now I have to make a statement, so I'm looking to try to get a finish, obviously. But, win's a win. I get my hand raised is what matters the most to me. But I always like to put on a side and fight. I mean, the Yan fight was super exciting. Unfortunately, the Dotson and the Sterling fight weren't as much because you had guys that didn't want to throw. They were more fight on the outside. But we had someone that wants to come and stand toe-to-toe like Yan. I had a blast. It was a good fight. I learned fight to the bell. Don't coast the last 30 seconds, especially in the first and second round. But it's just a learning experience. You know what I mean? I think, he got a minute, a good minute of the best of me in the whole 15-minute fight. Unfortunately, it's a big deal if you get a knockdown. And I mean, I don't know, like a flash knockdown compared to being knocked down and rocked, I feel like are two different things. So, but the flash knockdown was a big deal against Jan, but I don't really think he got the best of me. I just think I beat myself in a way. I wanted to coast when I knew I won the round, and I shouldn't.
And I imagine because you've been off for so long, you come out of this unscathed, or at least fairly healthy. You want a quick turnaround here, or do you want to just take it fight to fight, so to speak?
We'll see what happens. I also have a lot of things going on personally, so it's like I'll see what happens from here. The main thing just right now, focus on the fight.
Two more quick questions because I know we don't have much time. How many more fights are left on your deal? Do you know yet, or do you... Three? Okay, so gotcha.
Fight two more.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And last one, most important one. What are you going to be doing on the plane? Have you thought of that yet? Are you packing up some movies or, downloading some podcasts? What do you even do when you travel?
My buddy told me about Kingdom, so I downloaded the whole season of Kingdom to watch, but I don't really know. I have to figure out the times too, so this way I can sleep and I have to keep like an Eastern time because that's how the fights are going. We're fighting at like between 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. So I have
crazy. I mean, I get it, but I feel for you guys. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's not like we really can adapt to the time. So it's like I just gotta kind of figure out when I should sleep and when I should be up. So, and then we're going to Vegas for a day, so that kind of screws up. So it's like I haven't really thought it through yet. I gotta sit down with Lewis to kind of think it through, like when I should actually be sleeping and when I should be up. Because technically, I should probably be sleeping by 12 p.m. every day and up by like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. So I'd be sleeping through the middle of the day and then up throughout the night until 8 a.m. and then go back to sleep at 12.
That sounds crazy. I'm just happy to see you fight, though. It's going to be a great matchup. You and Cody Stamann coming up here this Wednesday, July 15th. Jimmie, appreciate the time. Anything you want to plug quickly before we get out of here? The floor is yours, man.
Good. I mean, my school on East 23rd Street in New York City. Anybody's more than welcome by. Stop by for a picture, take a class with me, and thanks for having me.